Hey guys, I'm super excited. We've got Avi back on the channel, and today we are going to be talking about his secret ingredient for converting at an open house. He shared with me last week that he booked 4 appointments at the open house. And I said, we've got to share that with everybody, what the script is, how the strategy works. So guys, let's dive in. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of, what your history is with open houses and then how you came to this conclusion?
Totally. Thanks for having me on again, Pat. Stoked to be here. Stoked to share this with everybody. I'm calling this the life-changing open house strategy because it literally one weekend kind of changed my life. And now if I can start to do these every open house, I can see the possibilities. And I want to give everyone watching this the full toolkit. So a little bit about me. I'm starting my 4th year of being a licensed realtor, but I actually was looking back at my history and I started interning for my mentor, Joe, who helped me really get started almost like 5 years ago. I was like a social media intern. And I've been doing open houses pretty consistently since I first started. I mean, a lot of new agents like myself, when you don't have a sphere of people that are old enough or, have the money to buy in a high-end market like here in Santa Barbara, and you don't have the money to spend on internet leads and a lot of big budget stuff, I've really started with open houses. And I've definitely converted some really solid deals on open houses, both on the sell side and the buy side, of course. But I've had a lot of open houses where I was sitting there Saturday or Sunday just being like, why am I here? Nobody wants to talk to me. I'm not really providing much value. I'm literally just wasting my weekend. And I bet a lot of you out there have had that as well, where everyone that walks in, you don't really feel super confident, know what to say. You're just not in the mood. And I want to make sure you never have that again. And using the strategy, I don't think you'll have to have that mindset ever again.
Yeah. And I think I've told everybody on my sessions that I did 2 years of open houses, 3 open houses a month, and I only converted 1 client. And so, when I kind of discovered my secrets, that was a game changer. Shared that with a lot of people who've been super successful. So talk us through a little bit about kind of, how this all came about.
Yeah. So the way that this whole strategy, the life-changing open house, came to be was really dumb luck. It wasn't a whole mastermind / like potion that I brewed up. It was really lucky, honestly. So how it worked is I go after a lot of expireds, and that's something me and you've been working on for years. And I was chasing down this one expired. It had expired at $3 million. I set an appointment with the owners, and the cool thing was too, I had a buyer lead for it as well. So that obviously helped me get my foot in the door. I had a great interview with them. I was presenting my marketing, my tools, everything like that. And they ended up deciding to continue to list with their current realtor who they've worked with, for like 2 or 3 years. He's the one who helped them bought the house. So that's sometimes a difficult position. They really liked me and they liked my materials, but they said, we really feel loyal to our realtor, but you can bring your buyer client through. And I met with them on a Thursday or so, and I say, okay, cool. My clients, they have plans this weekend, but can we come through on Monday? So we set an appointment Monday at 2, and it's a $3 million expired. And it just so happened I had an open house at a property that was listed at 3.1 million. So I had this appointment set at this off-market property, and I had an open house just by random luck at a property of the same value. And it was like the first group that came through, we're chatting, they're just hitting it off like normal. They're talking about the house. They're from out of area. And they're, I could tell that the house wasn't the right fit for them. And I just kind of was like, I just came to me. I was like, yeah, I understand this house isn't the right fit for you, but just so you know, I am showing this really cool off market. It has ocean views. It's really turnkey. It has some similarities with this property, but some differences. And it's priced at about the same price. It's last priced at $3 million. And I started to show them the photos on my phone because it's obviously not on the MLS. And they were like, this house looks amazing. Yeah, can we come see it? And I said, well, yeah, I'm showing it at 2, so I could probably get you in at 2:30. I took all their info and I confirmed with the agent. And I was just like, whoa, that was like the easiest interaction I've ever had. And now I have an appointment set with these buyers in the $3 million price range. And then the next person came in and I did the exact same thing. And I was like, I'm showing it at 2 and 2:30. I could probably show it to you at 3. And they're like, that's so cool. Thank you so much. They're from New York. Like immediately gave me all their info. And I was just like, oh my God, this is going to be a game changer. And then I hosted open house Saturday and Sunday. I looked at my notes. I keep my notes on my phone. I collected 9 contacts, which is full name, email, phone number. And I set 4 appointments at that off market. Some people weren't interested in that one, but they were still so impressed that I had this right on deck that they were willing to give me their info. So basically, let's say I convert even half of those. Let's say I convert 4 out of those 9 buyers at the $3 million price point, $12 million in volume from one weekend. I was like, this is life-changing.
Yes.
That's why it's the life-changing open house. So I want to explain how you can do this as well.
I love this. Let's help you guys get this organized. So Avi, could you kind of walk us through some of your thoughts about, okay, how do you now implement this consistently? Yep. What do you do during the week? And then how do you pitch it? How do you follow up?
Let's just dive right into some scripts. So obviously I did it kind of in a reverse order. When I'm prepping this for my next one, obviously you have the open house first, hopefully you have the open house kind of set by Monday or Tuesday. So you know your day, your time, obviously, the price point. And then from there, you're going to go on the search for that off-market gem, maybe even 2 if you can. And how I would do that is you look at the expireds in the area and around the similar price. I think having it in the similar price is really important, or at least a kind of a like for like property in some certain regards, whether it's price, whether it's location, whether it's views. So you're going to look at the expireds. You're going to look at the for rent by owners. You're going to maybe even just do some circle dialing around the neighborhood. I think the for expireds and the for rent by owners, though, are going to be the really big ones. Yeah. And you're going to cold call, and it's like, let's say Patrick owns 123 Banana Street. You say, hey, Patrick, this is Avi. I'm sorry for the random call, but here's the thing. I'm holding an open house at, this property at this price, and I'm going to get a lot of people that are probably pre-approved, ready to buy, but the house isn't a good fit for them. I know that your house was listed for rent. I know it's listed for sale, or it was listed for sale. And I was wondering if I could bring some of these people through your house if it's not too, much of an intrusion, because I'm going to be meeting all these people in this price point in this area. And so I was wondering if maybe I could bring them in on Monday or Tuesday. I think doing it early in the week is huge, because then you kind of still have the rapport from the people that you're going to meet over the weekend. You can kind of check in with them and see how they end the weekend, but it's still really fresh. I mean, obviously, if you book like a Wednesday or Thursday, but for these expireds and these for rent by owners, a lot of times, at least in my market, it's like a second home. So the house is vacant anyways. And so that is going to be a great way to get your foot into the door for a listing opportunity now. You're going to have all these people coming through, these potential buyers, and you're saying, hey, Patrick, I'm going to have a lot of pre-approved buyers. This open house, as you've probably seen in your neighborhood or down the road, is listed at $3 million. And I know you tried to sell your home at $3 million. There's a good chance I could bring someone through. I'm not even probably going to, with the owners, ask for a listing agreement or anything like that. It's going to just be kind of like, I'll trust you, trust me. Maybe they'll want me to go through their agent, but I think it's going to be a really brilliant way now to get some value and get your foot in the door for the expired.
Today's episode is sponsored by my favorite real estate website and CRM combination, Sierra Interactive. I love these guys for 3 reasons. Number 1, if we go down and look at all of the features that you get for the cost basis, they're one of the most affordable, and you get some of the best features in the industry. Got to keep our expenses low, but have better tools that generate lots of income. Number 2, if you are like me and you're on the path with me to build out your YouTube SEO strategy, your website SEO strategy to generate free leads and to continue to grow and build that asset, then Sierra Interactive is the place to be. And then number 3, the CRM. The CRM has been improving dramatically over the last couple of years, and the automation tools you get today for automated text, email, ringless voicemails, and a pop-up drop-down are incredible. So you are getting some of the best with the CRM. So my friends, book an appointment, use my affiliate link down below, schedule a time, do a demo with them, and talk to them about all of that they've got and dig in. Let me know if there's any questions that you guys have. I've talked to a lot of mega agents about Sierra Interactive versus all of the other big players. Happy to do that. Anticipate this next year that we'll still be in that kind of lower inventory environment for most marketplaces, especially my kind of California, a little bit more high-end marketplaces. So I agree with you that it needs to be probably a similar price point. The response that you got from all those buyers was in direct correlation to that. It was a similar property, similar price point. Yeah. And then you were able to show them and actually show them the real reality. I think a lot of, with the expireds and even with the Zillow for rent and with the buyers, I think the sniff test of like, you're just saying you've got opportunities or off market stuff. I think that sniff test, they flush it out. So you really do need to have something legitimate and a really good offer for people to get excited about. So
so obviously that's kind of the prep leading up to the open house. And maybe you can even find, if you can't find an expired, that works well, or for rent by owner, that's a good fit. Reaching out to the other agents in your office for what's coming soon and being able to really kind of, if you could really lock in a time to say, hey, can I bring a handful of buyers through Monday midday, Monday afternoon? That's going to give you a lot of leverage at the actual open house. So I really think that is crucial. Step 1 is like, hey, you have a showing window for 2 hours, Monday at 2. Because then it's, like you said, you're like being ultra specific, and you're not bullshitting the buyers that are going to come through your open house. You can say, hey, I can show it at this time. Here's a couple photos. I'll send it to you so you can review it. And even though that one's not a good fit, that's when you're going to get that really good one-on-one time. You're going to get to learn about their search, their situation. At the open house, obviously, people are coming in here and there. So that's really crucial. And then once you're leading up to the open house, there's a lot of scripts that, me and you work on. This is like the intro one. Hey, Patrick, thanks so much for coming in. Did you hear about the open house online, or did you see the signs, or you live in the neighborhood? Because if I hear that they live in the neighborhood, this probably isn't going to be as useful for them. When I hear they live in the neighborhood, I really want to, say, do you want to know what this one ends up selling for? I want to put them on HomeBot. I want to be able to, they're potential sellers down the road.
Yes.
And when you've seen it online, or whether they're visiting from out of town, they're the ultimate potential buyer to bring to this pocket listing and to bring to your Monday appointment. when I bring them to, obviously I like to really explain the ins and outs of the house, the year it's built, the stuff that they probably didn't see online, so they get some trust with me.
Yep.
And I let them go and let them walk around the house. And as they're wrapping up, the great quote that you obviously teach everyone and you taught me is, has anyone taken the time to show you some off-market options? And usually they're like, we kind of know about off markets, but we don't really know. And then instead of just being like, well, I have off market options, I can send you some. Be like, yeah, well, actually, I have this property at 123 Banana Street. I'm showing it Monday at 2. If you want to see the photos, here it is. It's priced at $3 million, just like this one. And yeah, I would love to show you guys if you want to take a look at what's available that's not on the market. And people are like, oh, wow, this dude's got it. And that's how you're going to have I feel like in my past open houses, it's kind of been like pulling teeth to get information.
Yeah.
Or it's like they can kind of tell like I'm kind of on the hunt. But this is like, hey, I got the goods. If you want to come and explore it, and if you want to come get access to something really cool, you can come. But if not, like I don't care. There's probably 20 other people that want to get it. And they're literally like begging me to take their info. They're like, yes. Take my wife's number too, like take her in email. We want to get the full scoop on the house. And it's like, boom, now you have the appointment set. You're like the man to them, especially if you're from out of town. Or if they're from out of town, I like to send them to over the weekend, like a full list of local recommendations and send them some texts in between. So I'm building rapport before I even have that first appointment.
Nice.
When you have the appointment at the open house, like I did with, 4 people, you give them the full tour of the house. You really kind of, build some rapport. Hey, how was the rest of your weekend? Where'd you guys go out to eat? Oh, awesome. You should try this place next. How long are you in town for? And then you kind of almost get to have that buyer consultation while you're exploring a brand new house together.
Yes.
And it's just, this is going to be a game changer for anyone that executes it. Yes, it might be a little bit more work up front. It's going to take some cold calling, some pounding the pavement. But for those people that can prep this well, your open house is going to be life changing. And it's literally going to be how many appointments you can set rather than just like, can you even set one appointment?
No, I love it. It's a great add to preparing for the open house, right?
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about doing the due diligence, doing the research, scheduling the time to get to the open house. But now it's like, yeah, let's go after the Zillow for rent. Let's go after the expired FSBOs. Try and get that appointment. I think the appointment that you have, like, hey, we're showing it at 2 and here it is. I think that's just a game changer for the buyer because they're just like, wow, that's real. They can wrap their head around it. They're going to look at it. It gets them fully engaged. So I think it's genius. Is there anything else that you would add to this?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit. I feel like this also is going to give you so much confidence, and open house is really about mindset and confidence. People can tell right away if you're like just on your computer and you don't want to engage. This one's like, hey, I got this great pocket listing. I'm here to share it with you. And another thing I didn't do once at either of those weekend open houses, and I think a lot of the great names in our ecosystem talk about this too, is don't ask them if they have an agent. I assume somebody wants to work with me unless they tell me otherwise.
Yes.
And all these people I'm showing this, pocket listing to, they might have talked to some other agents at other open houses. They might have, had an agent or friend refer them to somebody else. But all of them were like, yeah, we want to see it with you. They didn't say, yeah, we want to come with our agent. They didn't want to say any of that stuff. So I think, it's really important. Pretend like they're going to work with you, especially when you're bringing them this pocket opportunity. I wouldn't ask them, do you have an agent? Because then they might be like, oh, am I supposed to bring an agent to this off-market showing with you? Like, people don't really know. And I think it's just, hey, I'm gonna have this great listing. I would love to come show it with you, show it to you. Let's get you signed up and I'll send you some more info about it over the weekend. And obviously that one might not be a good fit, but honestly, once you have that appointment and that time to bond with them and learn about more about their situation, then you can start to send them normal things that are on the market and they're probably gonna want to see it with you. Then you're just really elevating yourself compared to any other agent that they meet over the weekend at other open houses. You're gonna be next level and you're gonna really stand out in the buyer's eyes, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree 1,000% with that question. And I know like I get a little bit of flack from some of the agents who are like, what do you mean you don't ask because, that's kind of rude or that's unethical? Yeah, I'm sorry I disagree with that because most agents right now, actually when they ask, every single buyer knows at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 agents. And so if you ask it, it's actually very discouraging. And so I would rather follow through. And if they were loyal to another agent, congratulations, you earned it. Hey, more power to you, right? But most of the time, I think if you ask it, it just discourages agents too much. And then you'll just start going into a negative tailspin and then you'll stop doing it. So I agree. It's kind of like the Zillow lead. You schedule the appointment regardless, and then you go try and win the client if they're not loyal or they don't have an agent. So that is the right strategy. Love it.
If they're super loyal, they'll tell you for sure. And
yeah,
I don't have anyone, all these contacts that gave me, me contacts. If they're with their agent, you can still potentially do this strategy. You could think about that. But most of the people, they know a couple agents, but they're really wanting someone to give them an extraordinary level of service that's beyond all the 5 agents that they talk to. And this is your opportunity to do so.
Yep, 100%.
I want to add one thing too. That's actually kind of a back end too. For a lot of you people that are calling expireds regularly and maybe have some on the burn, like I'm going on a listing appointment tomorrow that I've been following up with this expired for like 2 years. You could also kind of reverse engineer it. I feel like where if you have some rapport with an expired who's kind of like thinking about maybe meeting with you, or you could say, okay, this is a $2 million expired. Can I go find the $2 million open house that's kind of similar? And then have that follow up with the expired that I've already been talking to for 3 months, 6 months, a year, and just say, hey, Patrick, I know we haven't chatted in a couple months. I know you're kind of still foot on the brake and we've talked about meeting, but just so you know, I'm going to hold this house open, which is $2 million. And obviously your home expired at $2 million. Would it be possible for me to bring a couple of the people I meet, on Monday at 2? I know your house is open. And so that's one thing. I have like 3 expireds that I've been really following up with that I hope to convert this year. And I'm going to reverse engineer them now, where I'm going to say, okay, I got this one at 1.9. So I'm going to find a cool 1.9 open house. And that's going to help me get my foot even further in the door on a lot of these expireds.
Congratulations. Yeah. Good. Is there anything else on this strategy that you guys are applying that's working? Or because I know in our next session, we need to talk about the Zillow for rent absentee owner scripting, which guys will do that on another session. But is there anything left on the open house strategy that you guys are crushing with?
Yeah, I think we could touch on this script a little bit that I've talked with you when you're talking to the expired, even talking about bringing your own client. Here's a great script about the 3 strategies that you can bring to the seller. The seller that's been burnt out, or the seller that's currently listed for rent, and just kind of kicking it around. I would say something like this. I'd say, well, Patrick, I know you're potentially interested in looking at an offer, and there's 3 things we can do to bring you that offer. The first, we can bring our own client, someone we meet in an open house, someone in our database, someone that can write an offer off market and just potentially give you a great number that you feel good about. The second, we can broadcast this just within our Berkshire office, make it an office exclusive. Nobody knows about it on the MLS and Zillow. There's no sign in the yard, and we can potentially bring you 1 or 2 offers that might even be more attractive. But if you really want to net top dollar, obviously the move is to put it for full exposure. Let us do videos. Let us get all the buyers in the marketplace excited about it. But we can, talk about that more when we meet in person. But I'm kind of setting the stage to say, we have a lot of strategies that can work with you. If you want to be a pocket listing and not go through everything, we can do that. But I also am kind of like hinting that if money is important, which for not some sellers, they'll sacrifice a little money for convenience. But if money's important, here's what we would do. We would get the full exposure. And that's what I would say to these buyers too, when they're like, yeah, can you bring me an offer? I'd say, yeah, there's 3 ways, we can bring you an offer. I'm doing open houses, I can bring you them. But I think it's like really, it sets the tone for when you meet in person. They're already thinking, okay, well, if I want more money, I guess I have to put the sign out there and let him do the staging. But that's how I want to, if I really want to make more money, that's possible. So we're going to use that same script with the for rent by owners too.
Love it. Rock and roll, man. Avi, where could they find you? I know you're in Santa Barbara, so anyone that's kind of working with a potential referral for Santa Barbara, but where should they follow you on social, on YouTube?
Avi Becker on everything. I'm pretty big on Instagram. I like Facebook, YouTube as well. Obviously, feel free to call, text, chat with me if you want some more specific scripts. I think this strategy, it's going to be a game changer, a life changer for a lot of people. It's free. It just takes some sweat equity and some mindset shift. You can do this whether you have 20 years in the business or 1.5 month in the business. This is going to be huge for the people that execute it. I know there's not going to be, not everyone that see in 6 months, in a year, talk to the couple people that started to do this consistently and watch their business literally explode. Patrick, super grateful for you and everything you do for your community. You're the man.
Rock and roll. Avi, thank you so much, man. This was a great strategy. Hey, one more thing before you go. If you haven't signed up for my email newsletter, drop down below and just click the link that says email newsletter, and I'll send you the next one. I only send it out maybe 1 to 3 times a month max. I write it myself, and I'm only putting in some of the best ideas, strategies, books, podcasts, blogs, articles, my latest interviews, anything that I think is going to make a positive impact on you and your business, I'll put it in there. So I don't send it out very often. I wait until I have something worth sending. I hope you enjoy. It's easy to unsubscribe if you don't like it, no worries. All right, drop down below and get after it. And then, respond to the email. If there's anything I can do to help, I take a look at those emails and I will respond to you. All right, have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.